Hello, dreamers, and welcome back to PERLA'S DREAMS. Leo, this is your reading. And again, guys, these are general readings, so only take whatever resonates and please leave the rest. Um, Leo, this is a very magical time for you guys during this time. There is this sense, I keep on seeing a reindeer, and when I think about reindeer, I think about like Christmas and like, pulling the sleigh and this and that. Reindeers do represent wisdom and endurance and resourcefulness, which is something that I feel that a lot of, this is the energy that a lot of you are experiencing during this time, and I feel that this is why, it feels so magical. There are unconventional ways of resolving certain situations that you've been dealing with. Certain, I keep on seeing here like certain financial breakthroughs are coming through for you guys. There is an aspect where a lot of you had assumed or had thought that something was that. For some of you, there was something that there was a dream, there was a goal, however you want to word it, whatever ruffles your feathers, right? Of something that you wanted to achieve or something that you wanted to do, right? Whether this was a business, moving, buying property, whatever it was. But for whatever the reason, every time you try to move forward in that direction, every time that you try to achieve this, there was a lot of resisting, moving back against you or moving towards you, whatever. And I say whatever because the fact is that there was something within yourself that was playing this tug of war, when it came to this. Like, you would tell yourself you really wanted this, but then you will make up a list of 100 reasons why you couldn't, or you would make up reasons of why you should wait or whatever it was. And it wasn't until the moment that you said, okay, I surrender. If this is really for me, really show it to me. The moment that you decided to surrender to your own knowing, to your own intuition, this came to pass for you. Now, I'm not going to say that this came very easy because I do see here that there has been this space of like back and forth with yourself. Like when it came to like readjusting your own thought patterns, when it came to readjusting the way that you spoke to yourself, there was a lot of quote unquote like hit or miss within this energy. But overall, you did a very pretty good job when it came to this. You really stay true to that goal, to that dream. I feel that there are still things here that are being worked out. So, excuse me. Oh my god! All of a sudden, I feel like, whew, okay. So there may be. Okay, so there are things that need to be compromised on, is what I'm hearing, before signing on the dotted lines. So when you think about it, like if you're, and this is just an example, if you're taking a new job, there is usually a negotiation back and forth. Like, how much the salary is going to be, what is this, like every job, every corporation, whatever, has their standard things that are kind of like quote unquote like non-negotiable, right? And then there are certain things that are negotiable. So be aware of the things that are negotiable within a space, so that then you can negotiate for what it is that works best for you and your family. Is the way that it's coming up. Don't just get excited because something came through and just kind of like sign blindly, right? Because I feel that if you do that, there are going to be aspects, or there are going to be parts of it where then they may become a little challenging, and then you're going to be questioning or wondering whether or not this was right for you or not. But since the beginning, Spirit is telling you like this is for you, just make sure that you're reading the fine prints, right? Because sometimes even when we get granted what we want, even when we get that wish fulfillment, as with everything else, there can always be lessons within them, right? And it's like the aspect of like, are you going to learn the lesson right away? Which meaning, let's say if you read the fine prints, the lesson is being more attentive, paying attention to the smaller details and things. Or you're going to learn the lesson later on where you could have gotten, $10,000 more in your salary, but you settle for this because you didn't want to seem like this and this and that, So kind of address that, kind of like look into that, make sure that you're reading the fine print, and make sure that you're comfortable with the arrangement made, if that makes sense. This kind of feels like it's coming in very suddenly. This is something that feels like very, it is coming in with this very rush energy, kind of like it feels like somebody pulled the rug from underneath you, and it's not necessarily like in a bad way. It may have been like, you may have said, and again, these are just example, like, I am going to leave this job by the end of the summer, and I'm going to be living here or at this job by September. And it's like, Spirit is like, well, nobody told you as to apply in May, because now all of that is changing, and this is all happening like during the summer type of energy. So there is a wish fulfillment here. You had a timeline that may have been a little bit more graceful, right? You gave yourself a little bit more time or whatever, but Spirit is saying like, no, this is coming through now. So just be very prepared to be very open to quick and fast movement with things that relate to like a certain goal or dream that you've had, that's been put in you and or has been within you for a very long time. All right. There is definitely like this quick shift energetically that has happened with a lot of you. um I don't know if you guys have noticed it or not, but there is this more optimistic type of energy that I'm picking up when it comes to you guys. And I feel that this optimistic outlook in life or energetic energy surrounding you guys is really helping propel and move this forward. Whether, excuse me, whether it is because of the people that you're choosing to connect your, like, surround yourself with, or maybe this is just work that you've done within yourself. All right. Be aware of who it is that you're communicating the outcomes of this process with. Not everybody that you are expressing the information to or sharing your information with is excited for you. Some people are wondering how your decision to leave a job or your decision to leave a state or whatever is going to hinder them. How is it going to affect them in a negative way? So again, be very aware of who it is that you're sharing what with. Only share what needs to be shared with people. I feel that the past, and this is going back to like, we're looking at like 3 to 4 years is what keeps coming up, where Spirit has repeatedly been teaching. Sometimes that sounds so horrible, but for the past 3 to 4 years, you have been repeatedly learning the same lesson. Um, and I was gonna say Spirit has been teaching you, but in reality, it's just giving the space for you to realize certain things, right? And you're starting, for some of you, you have realized who it is, or who are the people around you, or what information to share with who. For some of you, this is all coming to light at this moment in time. There is this need to like recognize or look back in time, as to like when in the past you would share certain things, and if those things will come to pass, or did it seem like right after you shared certain information with somebody, all of your plans and everything were kind of like dismissed, or kind of like broke down, or whatever it is, like nothing really came to. And I know that this sounds completely weird, but it's like, imagine somebody like climaxing but never really having an orgasm. That's kind of like the energy that I'm picking up here, right? Like, you climaxed a lot in life, like you've almost been right there, right there, right there, and it's like you share the information like with the wrong person, and it's like it's all gone. It never really gets to that to that orgasm. And I know that this is like such a weird example, but that is the way that it's coming through, right? So it is time for you to go all the way during this time when it comes to this goal, to this dream. But be very mindful of who it is that you're sharing it with. there is one specific person here that really seems to be very bothered by this change that you're trying to do. And again, this is a very self-centered energy of like, how is this going to affect me? This is hurting me. This is an inconvenience to me. Um, a very good example would be like, let's say, and again, this is just an example, like you are married and all of a sudden, you and your significant other decided that one of you was going to stay home until the kids were in preschool, kindergarten, whatever it was. And now that time has arrived, and now you're deciding to go back to work. But when you decide to go back to work, then that means that you and your significant other now have to split that who's taking time off when it snows, when school is canceled, during school, school vacation, whatever it may be, or whatever it is. So now it is becoming an inconvenience to your significant other, even though this was something that was talked about, was planned about before you guys even had kids, right? And it's like this person is more concerned about how it is affecting them in a negative way versus how it is something that you have been longing for, something that you have been wanting to go towards. So be very mindful of that energy, because I do feel there is going to be a lot of bickering. This is going to put a very heavy strain between you and this person's relationship. For some of you, this is going to end in an ending of a connection. I do feel that whoever this individual is, it is somebody that you are romantically involved with, because it does feel like there is this complete disconnect, not just in a physical sense, but also like an emotional aspect of something is being undone, is being broken, is being pulled apart, however it is that you want to word it. Whatever words fit your description better of what it is that I'm trying to say. Whatever this change is for you, whatever this move is, whether it's within a company, whether it's leaving a company and joining another one, whether it's starting your business, whatever it is, specifically for you, there is a lot of growth within this. There is a lot of expansion. It's almost kind of like some of you are literally, and this is something that you have to really be careful about, right? Once you're in a space where you're stable with this and you're like starting to be grateful and starting to like really enjoy this energy of like, oh, you should have done this sooner type of energy is trying to come in and rob you of the celebration. So don't allow any energy or anything to come in and rob you of celebrating this, is what I'm picking up, because that is very much in the field, right? Where people will be like, oh, only if I would have done this like 10 years sooner or 5 years early or whatever it is. And it's like, hey, when you did it, when it manifested fully, when it came to fruition, was exactly when it needed to be done. That's kind of like the way you have to look at it. Anything else? You have the Two of Swords, the King of something, King of Cups in the reverse, and oh wait, there's another card hitting here. All right, so we have the Page of Swords, we have the King of Cups in the reverse as well, Two of Cups in the upright, Six of Cups in the reverse, and the Eight of Pentacles in the upright position. So again, this is something that is there are people, because this is the way that it's coming up, guys, and again, I read these intuitively. So if you want to see the cards, I'm kind of like sorry, because like they're so really these are the ones in the bottom, and then these are the ones in the top. If you want to make your own interpretation of it, you go ahead and you do. So these cards do not have the major arcanas. This is a very old deck. This deck is close enough to it's about like 30 years old or so, and it's been in my family for that long. So we have to look at this aspect of what is meant for you, or what is going to bring fulfillment in your life doesn't necessarily make others around you happy. Whether it is because it is taking, again, it is almost kind of like somebody feels like they're being robbed of your time or of your attention or of something that you give to them, right? Um, this is somebody that within themselves they have a very hard time when it comes to growth, when it comes to growing, when it comes to expansion. So therefore they are projecting that onto you. They don't want you to grow, they don't want you to expand, because if you grow and you expand, then that means that they have to in some way or another be forced to grow, right? They have to learn to be happy for somebody else. They have to learn to readjust certain things. They have to learn to address or even acknowledge certain things within themselves that they're just not ready for. So trying to dim your light while you're going through this process, or trying to stop you from following a certain dream, is the only thing that they do know how to do. Um, and as I'm saying that, I don't feel that it's not necessarily an aspect of this person not necessarily loving you. It is more of an aspect of this person not really knowing how to love themselves, not really knowing how to celebrate others and others' accomplishes, because they themselves do not know how to celebrate themselves. So you cannot allow this energy to kind of like play tag with you and like kind of attach itself to you, and do not allow yourself to become a vessel to this energy, because I feel that this energy is going to be projected towards you, and you have the choice whether you internalize this energy or not, whether you allow this energy to stop you, whether you start to self-doubt yourself again, whether you start to follow the trend of this energy. Because to be honest with you, again, this is an energy that is pretty much outside of you, but somebody is trying to um it almost kind of like looks like somebody's trying to spoon feed you their energy, like their energetic blueprint or something of that matter. So please keep that in mind when you're dealing with these individuals, when it comes to this goal, to this dream that you have that is finally manifesting for you. All right, let's see. Is there anything else that we need to know? Is there anything else that Leo needs to know before we close this reading? There's definitely a power play here that is happening between you and this individual. This individual is in a way trying to, for a lot of you, this is coming through with an energy of like guilt. Somebody's trying to guilt you into not changing. Somebody's trying to guilt you into staying the same or not following something. A very simple thing is like again, whether you have kids together or a dog together, it's like, oh, if you do this, think about the kids. How is this going to affect the kids? How is this going to affect the dog? Like, nobody's going to be home with the dogs. And yes, to me, my dogs are my kids. I have two very beautiful dogs that are also my children. They are my fifth and sixth child. But it's almost kind of like that space, right? Like, so, like, and again, I'm just using this as an example. When my kids were little and I worked or whatever, I refused to have dogs because to me, I didn't want a dog to be home alone 24/7. I wanted to be home with the dogs, right? I wanted to do things with my dogs, right? So I always told myself that I wouldn't get a dog until I was retired or until I was able to work from home. And that's exactly what happened. Now, my retirement process was not how I envisioned it, right? But that's when my first baby came into my life, right? My first dog, in the sense, came into my life. And a year later we added a second dog to the family, and it has been like a blessing, right? But I could have had people, or like even my own kids, like guilt me, like, oh, you don't want us to have a dog, you don't want us to be happy and this and that, when in reality it had nothing to do with that, right? It had to do with the fact that of how I envisioned having a dog, the life that I envisioned my dogs to have, right? And it's kind of like that's the way that you have to look at it. If you envision something for yourself, and you've made you've worked, right, and you changed towards that, You made the changes towards that. You made the sacrifices that needed to be made. You made you took the steps that you needed to go towards something. And it's like there is definitely somebody here that just doesn't understand. There's somebody here that is really hurt for you sticking to your word, for you standing your ground in something. Because again, this person really wants to bring in this energy of guilt towards you. They really want you to feel like you are ruining something or you are breaking something. I don't know. There is this aspect of like this power dynamic or this power control that somebody wants to have over you. If you are just returning back to work, let's say after having a child or something like that, it's like your significant other doesn't want you to go back to work because you make more money than they do. So in this aspect, they feel like the dynamic or the role, the roles of the family are going to change because now you're going back again to making more than they did. But there's a lot of that again. It's a lot of projection on your partner's part, right? I sound very congested and I apologize for that. I'm just like noticing that now. So yeah, just kind of like, just keep that in mind, guys. Do not internalize that energy. So let's go ahead and let's pull out an oracle card. We are using the oracle of the 7 energies as a closing message. Give me one card for Leo, Spirit. One card for Leo. We actually ended up having 2, and I'm just going to take them because they both came out. We have a burst of magic, and we have the royal you. So the first one was number 48. Look how beautiful that card is. Like, just sit there and like look at it for like a second. And then this is your second card, number 16, the royal you. And I love that purple and gold. It's kind of like giving me like this energy of like, again, it does says royal, like this royalty, but it's also giving like this I made a type of energy. I don't know why. All right, so with the first one, burst of magic, an epiphany, a certain higher knowing, a sense of everything has a purpose. Your purpose as a gift bestowed upon you. Cultivating conscious contact with a higher power. Coming to know what calls to you and lights you up. And it says, sometimes you may find that something you've been pondering or a dilemma you've let go of revisits you without warning. It may hit you while you're thinking about nothing, or the trigger may be just the right words arising in a conversation, book, or blog. An epiphany strikes like a lightning bolt, waking you up to the truth that previously eluded you. It's as if the whole world stops in that moment as you interrogate the missing pieces of the puzzle you were meant to solve all along. So again, there's definitely here something that is coming together for you guys. There's something here that again is just in favor of you. The question is, are you going to follow through, or are you going to internalize someone else's projection of why you shouldn't move forward in this direction? So the royal you talks about responsibility, self-confidence, self-rule, ownership of your feelings and actions, a quiet sense of empowerment, being self-aware, not allowing outside influences out of alignment within your truth. Do you know what it means to express personal sovereignty in your life? It's about how you hold to your inner sense of worth and integrity. Secure in your beliefs that you have a unique purpose. It's about feeling comfortable in your own skin, knowing who you are, and that nothing outside of you can challenge your authentic self. The hard-won seed of awareness that you have earned. You are the ruler of your mind, and you're being invited now to consider that disciplines you need to apply to your thoughts. Are they Are they consistent with the values and beauty you intend for your life? It is important now to keep your focus on what is right and good for you as well as others. And that is all that I have for you at this moment in time, Leo. As always, thank you for your love and support. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing to the channel. And if you haven't done so, go ahead and do so. We would love to have you. Sending every single one of you love, strength, and blessing, guys. Take care. Love you all. Mwah. Bye-bye.